So now we're going to return to our code and see what we have in terms of the details of what's going on. So if we go back to the run state, remember, down in line 121, it's going to execute that run method. So if it goes into that if name underscore equals main, which basically tells it to look for a given main, which is going to control or rather execute the file, in this case the method being called run under the if statement, then what happens is you go into that method called run, and basically you can see the first thing we do is return that argument. So that 500 value is returned, and you can see I'm forcing it as an int. Remember, we can just take it as an input without forcing it in Python, a specific type of value or a specific type of variable. In this case, however, I am forcing it to be an integer because I need to have integers in this execution specifically rather than, say, a fraction. Okay, so the first method after that to be executed is called select random. It's going to take that input to the 500 that I gave it earlier and run a method called select random with the input being 500, n. So you can see n being referenced in that method. So let's go find select random. Select random is all the way up here, and you can see the method is discussed. It's called a method to select random values, n, which is the number of random selections to make, and it should return a randomly selected data to print. So the first thing it does, it has a print statement, so print run random. So this is just a kind of an indication that everything is working. And then from there, it's going to open a file, or rather open a pathway. So if you look at underscore underscore file underscore underscore, so as you noticed before, Python has some inbuilt variables, and file is one of these inbuilt variables. So all this is saying is basically give me the pathway of this specific file. That is a good way to get a referencing to, if you want to hard code your reference to a given file, the best way is to get the actual current location. So this makes the code more modular because you can move it around and this code should still work. And then from there, we're going to break or split that pathway. So this is a split method, so pn.split. We're telling it to split where it says example.py, that is, split the pathway at this specific file. So we should get everything before example.py in the pathway. And then we're going to join the pathway with named entity merge. So there's a file called named entity merge in the src folder, which will now be merged in that pathway.